Hello everyone and welcome back to another review video. In this video, I'm going to be reviewing the Daron Realtoy, or more of the just Realtoy, Swissair 747. So, I got this plane off of eBay about 2 months ago for a great price of $10, and which was actually one of the cheapest planes I've gotten so far. And this plane is actually surprisingly really rare. I'm not sure if anyone really remembers that I did include this actual exact model in the 15 rare Daron Realtoy planes and no one knows about video that I posted about a year ago, which was a video I had made showing 15 models that lots of people did not know about. And I did include this model in one of those. And what makes this model really rare is the fact that it is very old and was very limited. This model is a early 1990s model made around the same time as the United Battleship Gray 747. It was only distributed by Nickname as a normal playset. And if you do not know what Nickname is, Nickname was pretty much a very small company that distributed the Daron Realtoy planes in the 1990s, as shown here in the bottom left corner of my retro KLM 747 in-flight box. Only a few models were distributed by Nickname. The most common or most well-known model that was distributed by Nickname was the Caledonian 767. Pretty much every model that was distributed by Nickname is fairly rare, because they did not distribute many planes throughout the time that they were around. So there actually are quite a few different versions of the Swissair models, and there actually is another version of this specific Swissair 747, with the other one being the pre-1993 Realtoy version, which pretty much looks exactly the same sticker and design-wise, except the bottom does not say Realtoy, and instead of Realtoy, it has pretty much the long extended landing gear, and does not say Realtoy on it. I did actually see one of those listed a couple years ago on eBay for a bidding listing. It was a Realtoy playset, but it was the pre-1993 one, so I did not buy it. But it did come as a pretty normal sized playset with Swiss Airlines vehicles and pretty much a normal Swissair box, and it had a really great design on it. So the playset box for this one probably looked pretty much exactly the same. And another major way that you can actually tell if a plane is Realtoy or not, especially with the 747s, because most of the 1990s models were 747s. So a great way that you can tell if a 747 is Realtoy or not is every Realtoy 747 will never have any flaps on the front or top of the wings. If you see any other pre-1993 model, it will always have wing flaps up on the top of the wings by the engines. So the Realtoy ones always only have the wing flaps on the bottom part of the wings. So that's how I could tell that it was not a Realtoy one, because it had wing flaps on the top of the wings. So, and then there is another version of an older and really rare Swiss Airlines model, which I did also include in that previous 15 rare Daron Realtoy planes video about a year ago. And that plane is actually a more of a fake model. Well, not really fake, it is more of a fake airline. It is not an actual Swiss Airlines model. I think it was more of a model that was made to represent the Swiss Airlines, Switzerland country, rather than Swissair as an airline. This was pretty much the airline model, and the other one was made to represent the country, which that one is really rare and only came as a playset. And then the other two models are newer releases, with the other one being the newest release, which is the A340, the Swiss Airlines A340, which was released, I think a year ago actually, and is available on pretty much all the Daron websites like Amazon, Airplane Shop, eBay. Pretty much you can buy it anywhere. It is a common model. Really nicely detailed model, and is actually one of the first A340s that have been released in a long time by Daron. So it is a really nice model. It is fully painted, and really greatly detailed. So I highly suggest getting one of these if you have not gotten them yet. And then the other newer model is actually a 777. This model is pretty rare and is not distributed worldwide. As of right now, it is only sold on one website, which I will put the link to that in the description. I hope it's still available. I will have to check that. But that model was released about 2 years ago. I think it was distributed. It's only distributed as a small playset, but it is a really cool, interesting model. It is kind of disappointing that it wasn't sold worldwide, but luckily the A340 is sold worldwide, and you can still get it, and hopefully it will be available for a long time. So, with all that being said, I will get into the review of the model. So, one main thing about this model, actually, when I bought it, was that pretty much the entire back side of the fuselage was missing. You can see where the stripe kind of is missing. Pretty much I had to repaint all of the windows, pretty much starting from pretty much where the wings join the fuselage in the back, pretty much all the way to the back side of the fuselage. I had to repaint all of the windows because all the windows were missing. So far, I haven't been able to kind of redesign the stripe, the silver stripe that goes along the bottom side of the fuselage, but yeah, so I had to redesign pretty much all of the back windows on the plane for both sides because they were missing, but I really wanted to get this plane because it was a really great deal, and also because it is a really rare model since it has the Realtoy logo on the landing gear. So, pretty much starting off with a review of the front. So, this model is overall very simple because it is an early 1990s model. So, there was if you can kind of see, there is a cabin door that is supposed to be here at the front of the fuselage by the cockpit windows. There's a cabin door there, and then pretty much all of the windows that go, all of the black windows that go throughout the entire fuselage. And then there is the really classic Swissair silver stripe that goes along the bottom side of the fuselage as well. It is missing in the back. So far I haven't been able to redesign it, but hopefully I'll be able to find some kind of, probably I have to do a marker or something to try to carefully redesign that so it looks a little bit more finished. Kind of restore the plane. So, and then there is the really nice Swissair logo that is displayed at the top of the fuselage as well. Luckily this was not scratched off like the back of the windows. Like I always would say, I would always rather the windows be scratched off on a model than the logos for the airline, which in this case I got really lucky with that the Swissair logos were still there and in perfect condition. So I'm pretty sure there are 3 cabin windows, cabin doors throughout the front and then kind of in the middle, and then there was one in the back. There is one in the back that was completely scratched off, and I have not been able to redesign that. But then there is the Swiss Airlines tail with kind of the the white cross that is on it. And luckily this model is not faded. The red is still in its bright red color and displayed on the back of the tail. The tail is not fully painted red, pretty much just has the red sticker on it. And then the bottom of the fuselage is also in this really nice silver, color. And then, of course, there is the Realtoy logo on the landing gear as well. So, I'm pretty sure, because you can kind of see, kind of showing through the engines and pretty much all the silver spots on the wings. I'm pretty sure this model was originally probably the plastic part on the bottom where the undercarriages was probably painted black as an undercoat and then painted silver over it, which is very interesting considering that I think most of the models now are just painted silver as their basic color. So it is interesting to see how the old 1990s, the first Realtoys, were originally made. So, and then there is the registration number that is on the wings, which is really classic for the first Realtoy models, which is SR828. It is not a real registration number for a Swiss 747. It's kind of one of the made-up ones, but it is really nice that they still included it, and also is really cool how it still is on the plane, considering that the back of the windows were scratched off. But overall, this plane is in great condition with the logos and stuff. The plane, it doesn't have a whole lot on it, but it still is a really nice and really rare model to have. So, this time, when I bought this was actually the first time I had seen it on eBay. So, overall, I'm really glad that I got it when I saw it, and that I was able to redesign the windows. So, another thing that is interesting about the windows on this model is the fact that they are more square than round, and they are a little bit more larger than they are on the newer 747 models. And it also does not have the first class upper second floor on it as well. Kind of just has the Swissair logo to take up the entire space. So, it's a very interesting model, and a really rare one as well. So that pretty much is all of the review for this model. So once again, I'm really glad that I was able to get this model, because it is pretty rare. And if you do see this model, I do highly suggest getting it, because it is a really nice model. And there is probably a high chance that it won't be in the best condition, considering that these are really old models, kind of like the Battleship Gray. And as the models get old, sometimes the paint and ink on the stickers can sometimes crack or scratch off really easily. So if you do get it, just make sure that you're careful with it. And yeah, so thank you so much for watching, and remember to like and subscribe, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.